Hey,
Hey,
we're back.
Welcome back. Yeah, welcome back to another episode of the Gun Collective podcast. My name is Adam Kraut.
And my name is Jon Patton.
And today's episode is brought to you by Blue Alpha Gear and the TGC Patreon patrons. Right?
Yeah,
Patreon patrons.
I don't know why they did that. Like, that's kind of a weird... Some people call them Patreons. Some people call them patrons. Some people say Patreon. I don't know. But
whatever.
Thank you
people. Yeah.
Thank you for giving a damn about us.
Yeah, so it's been a while since we've had a podcast here, and we are excited to be back with you folks saying what's up.
Same bat time, same bat channel. It's been a couple weeks. Where were we? What were we doing?
Well, screwing around. We were screwing around.
Yeah, nailed it.
We went to nailed it. We were down in Texas.
In Tejas.
Yeah. First time in Texas for me.
Really?
Yeah.
I've
Never been there before.
I have been both the hottest I have ever been and the coldest I've ever been in Texas.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh. Well, it is a desert.
Two different trips, but
yeah. No, it was so we were down in Dallas for the NRA Annual Meeting, and I know you went somewhere after, which I'll let you talk about. But
I did in fact.
How long were we there for? We got in Thursday. So my flight. You flew what, Wednesday? You got down there Wednesday night, afternoon?
Yeah, my story's a little bit long, but we got in Wednesday night, stayed at a hotel,
right,
and then had the Airbnb from I don't know, whatever.
It doesn't matter. It was Thursday till I left, but so you guys got there the day before I did, and I woke up to see that you told me that there was a lot of thunderstorms. I started hearing reports of flights being delayed. I started hearing reports from friends that had flights scheduled Thursday when I was flying that their flights got canceled.
Oh yeah, it was bad. It was real bad.
So I ended up, my flight got delayed. It only looked like it was going to be about 15 minutes. Then we sat on the runway for an hour and a half. I was supposed to get there at 5 local time. I didn't get there till 9.
Yeah, it was late when you got in.
Well, and then I drove. So apparently, when people say something is close in Texas, what they mean is it's within an hour's drive, because I had to drive up to Reed's house to pick up some stuff I had shipped there for safety.
Reed from AR-15 podcast,
yes. Yeah. And that ended up being a 45-minute drive one way. And I, oh yeah, it's Texas. That's normal. What? That's not close. That's kind of distant. So, so Dallas was an interesting town. We saw a little bit of it. We saw mostly the convention center, but we saw some other parts.
We did some exploring. I went out Thursday night. We got dinner. That's when you were coming in. I was supposed to pick Adam up, and he's like, "Hey, I'm coming in." I'm like, "We're sitting down eating dinner somewhere."
Cool, I'm renting a car.
Yeah. So we went out into like this little hipster area. I don't know what it was called, but it was really good. I think Dallas is an interesting town. People complained about the traffic. Oh, Dallas traffic sucks. I didn't see any of that. Compared to New York and DC and Philly, there's nothing.
Well, it's all comparative and relative. So for what they're used to, that may have been a lot, but for the Northeast, maybe it was on par or less than what we were used to. So we had an interesting time running around the annual meeting. I got to catch up with some friends. I grabbed dinner with the gang from Q. I went out with
I'm jealous of that.
Ethan and Kevin and all of them, and Reed Knight was there, and Rob Curtis from Recoil. We went to a little hipster. It ended up being like a little hipster place.
Is all of Dallas now hipster?
The food was good, so I can't complain.
Yeah.
Like, you know what? Be hipster all you want. As long as you're making good food, I'll eat it.
Adam is a foodie, for those of you that don't know, so he appreciates that.
Yes, I appreciate good food. It wasn't Deep Ellum. I did see signs for it, and I'm a little disappointed I didn't get there. I see there's a comment here. It's called Deep Ellum. I'm a little disappointed I didn't get to Deep Ellum just because there is a song, Deep Ellum Blues, and that would have been cool.
Who writes that song?
I don't know.
Is it the artist Nobody Cares?
No, I don't know. I don't know. It doesn't matter.
All right, let's get into some guns.
Well, let's talk about,
you know what? Shout out to everybody that's watching live here on YouTube. I love you guys. And the chat is reminding me, we've got our little mascot back there that you may or may not have seen.
What do you mean, our mascot?
Listen, that's
I didn't vote to adopt him.
That's Adam's adopted child, and we need a name for him. He's the baby that appeared. I put camo paint on his face. He's the baby that appeared in the Tactical Baby sponsor spot on TGC in the other videos, and he needs a name. So have at it. Hey, Izzy is here. I see Izzy in the comments.
He apologized. Yeah.
We were running scared that he would not be available tonight. But anyway, so NRA happened. It was a good thing.
Well, let's talk a little bit about the annual meeting for those that didn't get to see it or experience it.
It's I like to refer to it as SHOT Show light, but at the same time, it's way more consumer heavy and way more laid back overall.
Yes.
Like the whole feeling of NRA is just way more laid back. SHOT Show is very like businessy, business. That's what everybody feels like.
Well,
and
this is open to the general public, so this is definitely a consumer show where people get to, the general public gets to go and put their hands on guns or new products,
which is great. I think it's an awesome idea.
It's an awesome idea. I know that my first experience with anything like that was Great American Outdoor Show, which is infinitely smaller than this, and I thought that was really cool.
Great American Outdoor Show is so strange in comparison to anything else.
I'm simply using it for the reference of there are some manufacturers who go, and as a consumer back when I went for the first time, that was the first time I ever got to see anything that was brand new released that wasn't at my local shop. Right. So the NRA show is a great thing. TriggerCon up in Washington is another place, and I'm trying to think if there's anything else really that goes on during the year other than
no. The only other thing that would be in that vein would be the YouTuber shoot down in Georgia.
Yeah,
but it's not quite.
But it's not anything
nowhere
close.
near the scale.
No, there's a lot of neat stuff. Did you see anything neat that you really liked while you were there?
Yeah, it's
because you got to do more walking around than I did.
Yeah, Adam was campaigning hard, and we'll get to that in a minute. I know a couple people in the comments are kind of asking what happened, what's going on. So we'll get there, but no, we can't call it baby pee pants. I don't know. I saw something similar to that, and I think baby pee pants is hilarious, and maybe that could be Adam's nickname. But
nice.
But the reality is, I think I totally lost my train of thought because baby pee pants came into my brain.
You're talking about what you saw that was awesome.
Oh, what I saw. I went there with intent to look at cool stuff, and I saw like 3 things because I was too busy bumping into the audience and like shaking hands, and people were
kissing babies, baby pee pants. Maybe
I was not. Are we gonna have to like retitle this episode "Baby Pee Pants"?
No.
So the Biddy suppressor. That was cool, and we'll get to that.
Okay, yeah,
all the stuff I saw is on our list.
Oh, come on! All right,
I'm sorry. That's just the way it is. The Magpul bipod
ruined the list. Yeah.
Hey, listen,
that's not on the list to talk about.
Oh,
so
really?
Let's talk about it. Yeah.
Magpul bipod, awesome.
Why?
$110. Okay. Normally, like a really like quote unquote high end bipod is in like the $200-$250 range.
So we're not talking like Harris bipod. We're talking like Atlas bipod.
We're talking like
in
Atlas
that territory.
And Accutac and things of that nature, like the super fancy ones.
Yep.
And they have basically taken the features from those and put them into a bipod that is $110. So it's basically like an aluminum chassis, where all the adjustments are on the inside. The legs are aluminum, and then there's like a polymer sleeve.
How much of it's polymer?
A significant amount, but it did not feel cheap at all.
I guess time will tell. Wow, pardon me if I could talk, that'd be cool. What I will say about Magpul is I haven't seen Magpul ever release a product that hasn't been thoroughly tested, and I highly doubt that they're going to start with a bipod and introduce something that's just going to be a piece of trash.
Right.
So I suspect it's probably a pretty good product.
I hope, for their sake, our sake, I think it's a good thing to see that market getting shaken up a little bit.
Oh, absolutely. It's good for the consumer.
The way that thing was explained to me was that it's it has the features of an Atlas, but it costs like a Harris.
Okay, cool.
So that's kind of the vibe, and I think that's great. I think that's fantastic. So and all the feet, the guys that really get into bipods, you can change the feet on these.
Yes, I did. Jimmy did walk me through that.
They are Atlas
feet. Yeah,
they're Atlas feet,
right.
Which is great because there's a lot of options out there for like spikes and different things, rubber and blah 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 blah.
Yeah,
it's kind of like a BDSM thing for the feet. I'm kidding.
Whatever your fetish is, hey, you're into sharp things. Cool. Here you go.
Yeah.
I a big fan of their clothing. I know a lot of people don't necessarily.
They
talk
don't
about
fit
their
me,
soft
so
goods.
I get mad at them.
I guess when they introduced it at SHOT Show 3 years ago, I spent a lot of time talking to Noel, their designer, and ever since then I'm getting their shirts and wearing them, and I'm a huge fan of the stuff they make. It's really comfortable, it's stylish, and it's designed also to carry guns with.
Yeah. They don't employ Omar the tent maker, so I unfortunately cannot try that. But I do see that it looks very cool and comfy, and good on them. What else did we see? KG Made has a can that's a nine. So they do suppressors.
Yep.
They have a 9mm suppressor that's rated up to 300 Win Mag.
Why?
Why not? I mean, if you're gonna go full bore, pun intended.
Literally.
I mean, if you're gonna do it right. And there's this one can to rule them all thing that's kind of floating around. Some people say it's a 45 diameter. Some people say it's a 30 diameter.
Interesting.
And if it's, I would guess that the bore is probably like 0.360 or something like that, just barely big enough to fit a 9, and it does well suppressing everything out there. That's rad.
Yeah, that's neat.
That's cool. And I believe KG Made makes everything out of titanium. Somebody will correct me if I'm wrong on that, but I'm pretty sure all their stuff's titanium. Is robust. Yeah. We're going to get a couple of them to play with.
Cool.
Oh, update. I got an FFL.
Oh, huh. How'd you get that?
Adam, you helped me?
No, I didn't.
Yeah.
Here's an application. You fill this thing out. Cool. What was your booth design wise? What was your favorite booth that you went to? I know that's an odd question, but there's some booths that you look at and that some big booths
some feel cluttered,
right? But there's some not the guy who has shown up with his table and put up his own booth, but like the people who spend money to actually have a booth designed for them. There's some that are really well thought out, and there's others that you walk into and you're like, who did this?
Honestly, nothing really stood out for me.
Really? I've got one.
Manticore, I like that because it was super open. We hung out there. There were a couple others that were like, I always enjoy the Magpul setup because it's got like little tables.
Yes.
That's kind of nice, but nothing else really stood out to me.
Really?
Yeah.
I've got one in mind.
Go.
Silencer Shop's booth.
I have not seen it.
You didn't see it?
I did not.
Their booth design was really well thought out. So it was, picture a rectangle that's open on 3 sides.
So it's not
square.
A rectangle, it's a line.
Yeah. So in the 4 corners, they had different manufacturers' products in it. So one corner had Q stuff, and they swapped out with Dead Air for a day. Another had Silencer Co., and I forget what the other 2 were. I don't remember offhand. So then in the on the side where there was the solid wall, they had 2 computer stations set up so people could actually order silencers while they were there.
Okay.
They had 4 round displays that were like cylinders, with a whole bunch of silencers lined up in that. So it gave people a really good visual as to things. And then they had 2 kiosks of their kiosks there. So it would allow people to come in. They had factory reps there. People could chat with the reps from the different companies. They could then go up to the counter, order their silencer, do their fingerprints and photographs right there, and be done with it. So for Silencer Shop, I thought that was a really and it looked cool. It was a cool looking booth.
Yeah, I think that's pretty smart. The NRA Annual Meeting is interesting because you can sell there. Not everybody can, but most companies can sell there, so that's pretty rad.
Yeah, I thought that was really neat. So, cool. Well, NRA was fun. My favorite part was meeting a lot of the people who watch TGC in some capacity.
Oh my god, dude! I was shocked at how many people came up. And
it was hard to walk anywhere without people coming up and saying hi, and that was cool.
It's incredible. I mean, it makes it impossible to set meetings. That's for sure. Like
I was fine with that.
SHOT Show, but this is the thing. I think that's incredible that there are so many people that care that we can say, listen, I don't know if I'll get there when I'm supposed to be there because the fans are far more important than standing in a booth for 5 minutes. Mm-hmm. Far more important.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. I also got to meet Johnny from 182nd Ideas. Never met him before.
Oh, you hadn't?
No. First reaction, you're tall. You're real tall.
He's kind of an orangutan, as he describes himself that way. Johnny's a great guy, and I met him in person the first time at the YouTuber shoot last year, and he's a super good guy, and he's super smart too. Obviously, with his channel growing significantly.
Yeah, well, he's certainly put a whole lot of work into.
So what else? NRA. Let's talk about. Do you want to talk about the panel first?
Yeah.
Let's talk about election first. Let's talk about you.
Okay. Yeah. Stuff I love to do.
Hang on
a
second.
High on the list.
I want to shout out to anyone that's watching the video or listening. If you voted for Adam, leave us a comment or review or whatever. Let us know, because the results. Do you have the numbers handy? Do you remember them? How many people voted for you? The mail-ins were strong this year.
Yeah, so the I don't have the numbers in front of me. I could pull them up, but I'll post them. I posted them on my Facebook page if you go look there. So this year, the mail ballot, I forget how many I was I finished 29 out of 20 or out of 35, I think. There were 26 seats up for grabs, so I moved up in that regard. I increased by about 5,000 votes from the year prior, so there was a pretty large bump as far as the number of votes. Even though it wasn't enough to get a seat, there was a uptick in votes for sure. I forget what the numbers for that were exactly. It was in the 60,000s again, but it wasn't enough to get a seat.
I just want to point out that 60-some thousand people voted for you.
Yeah,
that's
cool.
That's effing incredible.
That's cool. So there was an increase. The part that was nice or humbling, or I don't, the word I'm looking for isn't coming to mind, but it was nice to see that there was an increase in the number of people who voted for me. And 5,000 isn't like chump change. It's not a couple hundred.
That's a lot of people.
I was impressed by it. I'd have to figure out what the percentage was. At the annual meeting itself, once again, fell short. I didn't have a really good ground game planned out, and they certainly came prepared this year. They, I guess, remembered what last year was like.
It was like the worst ghetto basketball game ever. It was 1v13.
They started with...
They even brought out the guy who played as an extra in Teen Wolf back in the 80s.
They started where they left off Saturday last year. So last year when I did it, on Friday they had about 5 people handing out flyers. Then that Saturday they went to 10 to 15. This year they started with 10 to 15 on Friday.
They were ready.
They knew. So, unfortunately my ground game wasn't as good, but we ended up losing by 70 votes, so only 10 more than last year. Not a significant margin either way.
I think it's interesting that no matter how hard they push,
it's not a huge margin.
It's really not. You would have thought.
Yeah, by their presence, you would have thought it would have been like just a total demolishment.
There were a couple times when I'm walking through the hall, like to either come see you, and I'm like, vote for somebody that actually believes in your rights.
Well, what was fun was meeting and talking with a lot of people. But this year I had 700 campaign buttons made. Last year it was 500, and I was out of them by Saturday midday.
Yeah,
like by noon they were all gone. And people were coming up to me like, "Hey, do you got any more?" Sorry, man.
Yeah. Well, that's great. I think it's fantastic that a lot of people want to support you specifically, and they want to see change.
Yeah,
I think that's great.
Yeah. Well, what was really interesting was Tim and
Eric,
and Chad. They had a meetup Saturday,
the
very
not
early.
Real activist thing.
Yeah, and I've told Tim, the way he was originally going about it, I didn't necessarily agree. We agree on certain aspects and stuff, but they all met up. I met everybody that was there for that. Chatted with them for a while. NRA security stopped by. They just simply asked, please don't impede the walkway. There wasn't like, get out, you can't do this. The guy's like, look, I get it, just don't cause any problems, and it's cool. So they met up. Then they all marched down to the voting area, and the look on some people's faces when they did it was just
they had a big group of people.
Yeah, there was a lot of people there. The Enemy Within sticker was a lot of fun to hand. So if you got one of those, that was one of like about 200.
You
I hand wrote all of those.
So he had, for those of you listening, there was a sticker that Adam was handing out. It was one of those "Hello, my name is," but it said "The Enemy Within," and he hand wrote them all, and it was fantastic.
It was an idea I had like Thursday morning, hey, it would be a good idea, and somebody was like, you should make stickers. I said, well, had I thought about this 3 weeks ago, I would have made stickers.
Hey, if you guys are interested in an Enemy Within patch,
it's already We're it's
Good.
in the works.
Sound off. It's already happening.
Yeah, it's in the works. So, so that was interesting. It was a lot of fun. The NRA's candidate, I spent time. He actually was willing to chat with me, unlike the gentleman from last year, and he's a nice guy. I can't say anything bad about him. I don't know him though.
Sure.
So it was interesting, and you got to see who would talk to you, who wouldn't talk to you, and it was fun going up to some of the volunteers and trying to have a conversation, watching them back away. I'm just trying to be friendly, man. Interesting experience once again. So all of you that stopped by to vote or voted in the mail ballot, thank you. It means a lot. Truly does. And I hope you guys will certainly back Luke Crawford. He's going to throw his name in by petition this year. I believe Steve Reichart is going to as well, or has already announced that he's running. And I don't know if there's anybody else who's running by petition, but I certainly hope you guys give them a look and support them, because running by petition is extremely difficult.
Yeah, I know that I will certainly back Luke. I don't know Steve Reichert. I know of him, but I don't know him.
Yeah, Luke.
I do know Luke well enough to go, he's the right guy. So I take it that means
I don't know.
You're undecided.
I'm undecided as of right now. It's taken a lot.
That's a very difficult decision. It's financially, emotionally.
It's it's incredibly time intensive, and I've done it 2 years in a row.
Yeah, I know. I was there.
I know. I know. And if it weren't for your help, I wouldn't have gotten as far as I did. But so you've seen it, and for those that don't know, it takes a lot out of somebody.
There are some discussions behind the scenes of what alternatives can be attempted. And we'll see. I don't want to beat your head in again about like, do we run? Should I do this? Whatever. I think I would like to see you in there, but I understand if it's too much to run 3 years in a row.
Yeah,
I understand.
There's a lot that's going to go into that analysis on the back end here.
So what's next?
You've mentioned something else about NRA.
The panel. What time is it?
It's time to talk about the panel, and then we'll.
Okay. So we still have time.
Yeah.
Okay. So the panel was an interesting thing this year. How much do you know about? How much do you remember, I should say, about what happened?
Which part? The beginning?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was standing right there.
No, I mean, like, not the actual panel, but how it came to be, where it was, and things like that.
I don't know how it came to be where it was.
Okay.
I can infer based on its location, because you looked at places that would hold a large group of people that was close to the convention center, and that's how it became right across the street. So that makes perfect sense.
So it goes a little deeper than that. On the back of last year's incredibly successful panel, we were told by NRA, OMG, we want this to happen again. We're going to give you twice the space.
Oh, I knew this.
We're going to help make it an incredible event. And, fast forward to the end of the year, my year kind of got turned upside down at the end. And I did not have a chance to figure out what was going on, especially because I thought everything was okay. I didn't have a chance to figure out where we were in planning. So I reached out to NRA, and
I told you to do this.
Yeah, I reached out to NRA and I said, "Hey, what's going on?" And they came back with, "We have chosen not to support this event this year."
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, fantastic. Thanks for letting me know. Thanks for forcing me to reach out in order to get that out of you. And I know it's not my contact that did that. I just think it's a crappy move. So long story shorter, I reached out at Adam's advice. I sent an official letter. I got zero response from that. So basically, NRA not only gave me a middle finger, but they gave Adam a middle finger, especially, and all of the other content creators and all the sponsors and all the people that care about us.
Came.
They gave everybody a giant middle finger. And I think that sucks, but we will not be silenced. And, I did find a location. There was a couple hiccups with the location that I found out like right as.
Yeah, well, we didn't know about.
Yeah, there was some stuff that happened that I didn't know was going to happen. But anyway, found a really cool location. It was kind of like inside like an old West town. The panel was awesome. Surprise guest, John Lovell. I asked him the night before.
You know what was amazing? Johnny's announcement of him.
Yeah.
So pumped.
So the panel, and I get a lot of questions about this, so I'll explain it a little bit. A lot of people go, why not this person? Why not that person? Blah, blah, blah. So typically the way I pick panelists is either they've been involved for a long time, like at this point, everybody there, with the exception of 3 new ones, has been involved since day one of what the panel is. You were an addition last year,
yeah,
right?
I'd be an exception to that rule.
So the way I pick panelists is that these people support me, and the reason I don't pick others is because they, as much as they are cool or have their own audience or whatever, they just don't seem to care about what we're doing at TGC. So I see no reason to include people that are not supportive. And that's okay. They don't have to be. I'm not saying they do, but people said like the Yankee Marshal, who has openly crapped on things here on TGC. Like, why would I do that? There's no reason to do that. People just want to see
anything good would come.
Well,
from
people just want to see a spectacle, and I have.
It was a spectacle enough without the drama.
Right. We don't need the drama. So that's kind of why. I think we gave away about $20,000 worth of stuff.
Gave away some cool stuff.
We gave away some awesome stuff. There's a couple integrally suppressed guns, silencers, guns. We gave away 12 guns or so. Gave away a bunch of optics.
Some people were super pumped.
The guy that won the Howa threw it above his head. Yeah, it was amazing. So the panel was awesome. There should be a highlight video. I know Izzy is working on that. He's actually in our live comment section here. He's working on the highlight reel video to go out hopefully soon. And yeah, I can't wait. We actually, I don't know if I told you this, we have a venue already for next year.
No, you didn't tell me this. Oh, no, you did.
I did.
I do know what it is.
It's a brewery.
Yeah,
it's a brewery. Get excited. I already asked, so the guy that I'm speaking to, and I'm not going to say names or anything yet because it may not work out.
Sure.
But I asked him about blocking the street because if the place only holds 400 people.
Right.
I mean, I believe surpass that, and if we've got more time to promote and all that, yeah, we're gonna punch right through that number. So we'll see.
Yeah, cool.
We'll see.
Good stuff. Well, that brings us to our halfway point here. We got to take a moment to thank our sponsors for allowing us to do this podcast with you folks. Our first sponsor is.
You sound so official.
I turned on my radio voice.
Welcome back.
Yeah. So our
Adam Crowd here.
Our first sponsor is Blue Alpha Gear.
Turn it up and rip the knob off.
Yeah, all right.
Blue Alpha Gear. They make incredible belts, and they're affordable. That's really the core of their business. They make good belts, and they're way easy to afford.
What an awesome business model.
Right.
I said they're way easy to afford. No, yeah. Yeah, no, they do make good stuff.
They should put that on their slogan.
We make it way easy to Listen,
they're good belts.
Yeah, so Kurt's going to kill us for saying...
No, he's not going to kill us. Kurt loves this. There is...
Choosing his new slogan.
There is a super duper secret promo code that is only for listeners or viewers of the podcast. We do not write this down. It is TGC10 for 10% off at bluealphagear.com.
Oh. And our other sponsors this evening are you, the TGC Patreon patrons, Patreons, whatever you are. Head on over to Patreon. That's patreon.com/The Gun Collective. Sign on up. We got 2 levels, $1 or $5. Either way, you get a chance to come hang out with us, possibly win some cool things, and tell everybody that you support TGC in your own way.
Yeah, I mean, we love the Patreon supporters. I'm kind of putting more into letting those people see behind the scenes of what's going on. So, if you want to kind of see what's happening,
no outtakes,
no outtakes,
no outtakes.
It's just a live feed of Adam cursing.
That is patently false.
Yeah, so patreon.com/The Gun Collective. We really appreciate you guys. And, of course, Blue Alpha Gear, TGC10. What's next?
Groovy. All right, let's kick it out here with some news articles.
You know what? Hold on. I know we didn't talk about this at the top. Hey, if you got a super chat and you want to do that, we will guarantee that we will read it out. Obviously not obligated to do that, but we appreciate it.
Yes, you are. If you're watching this live, you are obligated to super chat anything you say. What?
Give this away.
You give it away. I don't know how we're gonna do that.
So what we're gonna do? I've got one of these goat guns. We've got literally a stack of them.
How
if you
are
saw
we
the
gonna
video,
do this?
What do you mean? We're gonna pick a commenter, and Izzy will sort it out.
All right, Izzy, that's your problem.
It's not Izzy's problem. We'll figure it out. So listen, if you are watching this live and you want to win a pink AR-15, just like the one Adam has in his hand right there, just like that, it is pink. It doesn't look pink in these lights, but here, I'll hold this up as well. So there you go. You can see that it's pink. If you want to win one of these, go ahead and share this video. I don't know how we're going to track that. Scratch that. Leave a comment on this video.
Pick a number between 1 and 100. All right, so first up, we've got a female Kent State graduate who carried an AR-10 on campus and has made quite the controversy. So this young lady here, Caitlin Bennett, and we'll toss her up on the screen so you can all see her lovely face, took graduation photos with a proper AR-10, mind you, and a pretty sweet graduation cap, actually.
Yeah, the cap says, "Come and take it."
And it's got a picture of a rifle on it.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. We do not often see things of this nature.
No.
Is it, do we know if it's, I guess it's cool to have that on campus?
So it's legal for campus carry, but it's up to the university to allow it. So from legal standpoint, it's okay. Campus can regulate it. Kent State has a policy against students open carrying on campus, although it's legal in Ohio. And because she graduated as no longer a student, she took her AR-10 around and her graduation cap and walked through campus. She got a number of death threats and people saying all kinds of awful things about her. And she
because she had a rifle.
Because she was exercising her right. And 2 days later, she tweeted that I have no apologies for my graduation photos. As a woman, I refuse to be a victim, and the Second Amendment ensures that I don't have to be.
Do you think that's fantastic?
Good on you. It's up to you guys to figure out whether or not she's single and whether or not you can get a date. Good luck. All right. Judge didn't...
Yeah, that's just what she wants, a bunch of mouth breathers from the internet.
Hey, excuse me, miss, can I have a date?
It's called a suppressor. Judge denies NRA's use of pseudonyms in Florida lawsuit. So as
hold on. The reason I'm gonna clarify this. The reason I said mouth breathers is because the only people that would ask for a random girl's date on the internet, they're mouth breathers.
Excuse me, miss. That's actually an SR-25. It's not an AR-10.
Oh, all right. Florida denies NRA's use of pseudonyms in Florida lawsuit. So you guys may remember the NRA filed suit immediately after Florida passed that law banning individuals from 18 to 21 from purchasing firearms. And the NRA filed suit, so the NRA amended its complaint to include a Jane and John Doe. Unfortunately, though, due to the case law out of, I believe, the 11th Circuit, the court was forced to rule that they are going to have to amend that to include these individuals' names. And if you read the judge's opinion, it's like an 18-page decision. Essentially the NRA said that they feared these individuals would suffer from harassment given the internet in today's day and age where everybody likes to be a jerk. And that's why they were using pseudonyms. They actually had Marion Hammer, who submitted an affidavit along with a whole bunch of emails and of death threats and things that she's received as a basis for, like,
she's trying to prove that there's a credible threat and that they should not do this.
and these, you got to remember, these are kids too. They're not adults,
right?
And the judge said that unfortunately, and you could tell by reading his opinion, he really didn't want to have to come to the conclusion he had to come to, but the way case law is, he didn't have a choice. So I mean, he even said that the internet's like a vile place and whatnot. So he.
By the way, people are actually picking a number.
Good, Izzy, figure it out. Pick a random number. So yeah, it was a pretty tortured decision. So they're going to have to amend their complaint and actually name these people, assuming that they want to continue forward with the suit. And that's unfortunate in a lot of regards. So we'll see what happens there. School resource officer takes down gunman at Illinois high school.
Mark Dallas. Yeah,
shot somebody in
name.
Mark Dallas. Well, I was reading the article title.
No,
but yes, Mark
my point
Dallas.
is, we always the news They love, oh, here's the name of the shooter. Here's what he looked like. Let's find the most evil-looking picture of the douche and make him famous. Let's make this guy famous.
Yeah, so Mark Dallas shot this dude, didn't kill him. Apparently no one else was sustained injuries, and he had the kid who was shooting open fire during graduation rehearsal inside the gymnasium. So
can you explain to me what the kid came into the gym?
Yeah, that's what it. Based on the article here, that's what it appears is that he did it during graduation rehearsal in the gymnasium. Dallas is a 15-year veteran of the Dixon Police Department, and he's been serving as a school resource officer since 2013. So good for him.
That's fantastic.
Yes.
Do we know what he was armed with? Can you see in that picture?
Some kind of handgun.
Thanks. That's very descriptive.
I don't know.
Some kind of handgun, everybody.
It's black. That better?
You.
It's in a holster as well.
It's black and it's in a holster. Adam Crowd, everybody.
Hey, yeah, all right. CMP announces surplus 1911
Welcome back.
prices. So as you guys are foaming at the mouth for the CMP 1911s, here's how you can get your rust bucket. A service grade is only going to cost you $1,050.
What is a service grade?
May exhibit minor pitting and wear on exterior surfaces and friction surfaces. Grips are complete with no cracks. Pistol is in issuable condition. Field grade is going to cost you a whopping $950. May exhibit minor rust, pitting, and wear on exterior surfaces and friction surfaces. Grips are complete, no cracks. It's also issuable. Rack grade $850. We're getting cheaper here. Will exhibit rust, pitting, and wear. Exterior and friction surfaces. Grips may be incomplete and exhibit cracks. Pistols require minor work to return to issuable condition. So in other words, you could spend $850 on a brand new 1911 that's going to be...
That needs work.
Well, no, I mean like a brand new 1911. You could buy a brand new 1911 that actually may work.
Thanks for paying us $850. Here's your piece of crap.
Yes. Yeah, pretty much. So good news. Apparently shipping is included in that price, so you can feel like you're slightly less taken advantage of.
Dude, somebody racked a round out of one of my tiny little guns. Look.
Oh,
I'm so
sorry.
sad. I don't know where
bad.
that came from.
Interesting article development from the NSWC Crane. So
that's Naval Special Warfare Command or something like that.
Yeah, Naval Special Warfare, something like that. Anyway,
I used one of their reports. Side note: I used one of their reports.
Was it the MLOC versus Keymod one?
MLOC versus Keymod, and that video still gets a ton of comments.
So here's one for you. They apparently did an in-depth analysis of the mid-length gas system versus carbine, and they tested it in areas as far as endurance, reliability, precision.
And this was a 14.5-inch barrel.
Yes. Muzzle velocity, bolt speed, temperatures, both high and low, terminal velocity, barrel erosion. And this is up on soldier systems as well as recoil, but they've put about 30,000 rounds of M855A1.
That's the new stuff?
That's the new stuff that apparently is killing feed ramps through 3 M4A1s equipped with 14.5-inch cold hammer forged barrels and a mid-length gas system. They stated that they started to see accuracy degradation at around 6,000 rounds on, I guess, carbines. On carbines, but during the testing of the mid-length gas, they hit 12,600 and still hadn't seen any changes.
That's very interesting. That's very interesting.
Well, and that seems to go with the common general consensus, I would say, as far as people
it's canon.
Yeah, as far as people talking about mid-length gas systems being a little more softer shooting, but it also makes sense from a standpoint of heat and other stuff coming down the barrel.
Why do you suspect they did not test rifle length as well?
Because I don't
know that anything they use has rifle length.
Rifle length, off the top of my head, I can't remember what the length is, but I don't think you could put a rifle length system on a 14.5-inch barrel. I think the gas port would be too far to the muzzle.
Okay, so the gas system would not function correctly in that design.
I think somebody can correct me, but I think carbines around 7, mid-length is around 9, and rifles 12-ish, maybe somewhere in there. It's a long gas tube. I don't remember what it is off the top of my head. It's been a while.
I think that's a very interesting test, and the fact that they did see that mid-length, at least in that barrel length, is superior in terms of accuracy. I would assume.
Yeah. Hey, I was right. Look at that. Carbine 7 inches port distance, 7 inches. Mid length is 9. Rifle is 12.
So you're saying being 2 inches from the muzzle?
I don't think that's gonna fly.
Right. That doesn't function. Okay.
Let alone So, interesting test there. We'll see how that comes to be.
What do you think about that ammo? You said something about it eating.
Yeah, I was reading because the tips are
a harder metal.
A harder metal. They're apparently like just destroying feed ramps left and right.
What metal is that? Is it tungsten?
I don't remember. Let's see.
I don't know that it matters.
Well, yeah, I don't know if it matters either.
We're gonna find out thanks to the internets.
Yeah, sorry, gonna look it up here. It is.
Wait for it.
Oh, come on, man.
Hardened steel penetrator. So
cool.
it's steel.
Yeah,
so it's exposed steel as opposed to the old one, which was encapsulated by, I believe, copper. I don't know how far in that old one sat.
Yeah, I don't.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't really matter. But
not for the purposes of
our discussion. Yep.
Yeah.
NRA elects Oliver North as president.
Hold on. Before we get into this,
Sure.
I want to understand something.
Go ahead.
Is the president a 1-year term?
No.
So they booted Pete Brownell.
Pete Brownell willingly stepped aside.
Curious.
That was my understanding.
Curious.
That he stepped down. And that Oliver North
shout
was
out
elected.
to Brownell's because Pete came to the panel. They sponsored.
Did he come? I missed
there.
him.
He was there.
I wanted to say hi to him. But
I came over. It was funny. I was on stage prepping, running around like a madman.
I saw Josh and all of them.
Yeah, they came, but Pete stopped by before everything kicked off.
Awesome.
And there was a guy standing next to the stage that had a suit on, and he looked official. And I came over, I was like, "What are you doing?" And he's like, "I'm security for the NRA." I was like, "Why is the NRA here?" Like they don't like I thought I was just
get
like,
out.
I was literally about to toss him. And he's like the president's here. I was like, "What? Where's Pete?"
Trump
turn
where?
Around, yeah. And I walk over, and there he is, Pete Brownell, hanging out at the panel.
Cool.
Very cool. President of the NRA and I suspect one of the owners of Brownells.
Yes. Yeah, I've heard nothing but good things about him.
He's great. He's very pleasant.
So, in product news, we got a few things to run through. NRA 2018 AAC announces the Tirade 30.
So the Tyrant 9 and Tyrant 45 are considered fantastic cans.
Yes. Yeah, they always have been.
Yeah,
and they're
like
still
up there. So this is kind of an addition to that line. This is the first I've seen of this, so
I don't know. It's not an addition to that line. It is a completely user serviceable, no tools required for ease of maintenance. It is threaded 5/8 by 24 and the tapered 90 or 51 tooth. Wow, they made it backwards compatible. Engineered for 30 cal rifles up to 300 Win Mag, including full auto.
What's the price?
Full auto rated for 308 and
what's the price?
Yeah. I'm looking.
There's a link to their website in the middle there.
That doesn't mean that their price is going to be on it. Oh,
it better be.
It is just $11.99.99.
It's $1,200. Thanks, AAC. You did something great and then crapped on yourselves.
Well, it is.
Listen, we're in a day and age where nobody cares what your name is when it comes to suppressors.
Not true.
If you're AAC, you're not getting $1,200 for that can. Now, I'm sure it'll sell for less. But
I don't see what it's made of. I was just wondering if it was titanium or not.
I would believe so if they called it the Tirade TI.
Well, I guess that would be indicative of what it should be made of.
That's what the other ones are, right?
Yeah, they're claiming 123 decibels at the muzzle and 300 blackout. But really, I care about what it does at the port because that's where my freaking ear is. 20 ounces, 20.1 with direct thread, 20.5 with the 90 tooth taper. So not a huge difference between that and weight savings. Facts and firearms slides.
I covered those on TGC News this week.
Did you? Mm-hmm. Tell me about them because I missed
those. So there's the Patriot and the Hellfire. It's two different slides for the M&P.
Okay.
They are not cheap. I'm not positive.
$4.99 and $5.25.
Yeah. So the Patriot is kind of your like duty model. And tons of serrations everywhere, of course. And the Hellfire is the one with the holes in it. Now, the pricing is $4.99 for the Patriot and $5.25 for the Hellfire. I do not know, and they may come with a barrel, which kind of offsets that value because that's.
Well, if they come with a barrel, then it's not as salty.
Right. It's a little salty.
If it comes with a barrel, it's not. If
I'm
if
not
it doesn't,
positive on
then
that, so do not quote me on that. I've got to find that out.
You can quote them on that. It doesn't matter because they're going to laugh at you
Welcome
anyway.
back. Adam Crowd here. What was your name? Baby Pea Pants?
That wasn't my
That
name.
was your nickname.
um,
Welcome back to the TGC podcast. His name is Baby Pea Pants, and I'm Jon Patton.
and today we're talking about how Century Arms introduces the arrival of the Red Army Standard in 223, which makes just
So
no
it's steel
sense.
case 223 with a 56 grain bullet.
Yeah, I
Red Army Standard
Yeah,
for something that's not Red Army Standard.
well, that's
That's the name of the brand. What's the price point?
20 round box for $5, 1,000 round case, and this is MSRP $249 a case.
So that may be like a $200 case of ammo.
Yeah, bimetal jacket with lead core, 56 grain
it's
bullet.
cheap steel ammo, but
It is.
you know,
Lacquered steel case.
What do you think about steel cased ammo? Do you like? Are you? Listen, this is a serious question. I don't know.
Go be poor elsewhere. No, I don't know. I shoot it in my AK.
Okay, what
my
about your
AR-15s I don't. No.
Why?
Why? Because I've always bought brass and I reload, and I've always bought brass and I just don't.
I've always bought brass.
Yeah, pretty
Okay.
much.
Are you opposed to shooting steel case? Because I know a lot
If
of
somebody
guys
handed me a mag and was like, "Here, run this through your gun," and I know you didn't load it and it came from a reputable place, yeah, I'd run it through my gun. I don't care.
I just
It's a barrel. I
it
can
irritates
replace
me
it.
because people get all high and mighty about, you know, steel case ammo in an AR. They're like, oh, it's going to break the extractor.
Cool,
Well,
I'll
guess
buy
what?
another one.
Guess what? You don't shoot enough to break that.
My 100 rounds a year. Yeah, no, I
And
don't.
it's always that guy, the guy that shoots 100 rounds a year. That's like, well, actually, it's going to break my
It's called a
extractor.
suppressor.
Yeah, it's the same guy.
It's the same guy.
It's the same guy.
It'll break your extractor.
I'll show him in the YouTube comment section.
Oh my god, I'm gonna make that a meme later. It'll break your extractor. Smith & Wesson introduces a gun that nobody wants. The M&P 2.0 compact, so the Glock 19 size gun that had a 4-inch barrel. They've now made it with a 3.6-inch barrel.
So
Why?
They made two versions of the 2.0 compact now, right?
Yeah, yes,
one
but
with a 3.6 and one
why?
with a 4.
Why?
I don't know.
Because
I
the
can't answer.
barrel is the part that goes in your pants. It's not like you reduce the grip size, the part that people will see.
You're preaching to the choir here. I don't understand this move. Did
Way
they
to
have
go,
a-
way
I
to go,
wonder-
Big Blue.
So I wonder if they got like a massive shipment of the wrong barrels. Whoops.
Yeah, so what? They're gonna cut the slide down to
Well, those barrels are already bought, so we might as well.
we gotta make the way to go.
I don't know. Well, I mean, was there a
If you want this-
3.6-inch regular? Like, are those the same barrels from the?
I don't know if that's the same as the actual like the original compacts. I think they might have been 3.6.
So if that's the case, maybe those barrels were leftovers, and they decided, we should probably do something with them.
maybe they should have thrown them in the trash. Anyway, if you think this gun is cool, let us know in the comments so we can laugh.
I mean, it's not crap. The 2.0s are great.
oh yes, but a 3.6-inch barrel versus a 4, like why?
Oh, hey, there's Eric Stern.
yeah,
from
Eric
Beretta.
Stern from Beretta. I figured this one would catch your fancy.
So
here.
before we get here, what is this article about? What is the name of the gun that this is about?
The A400
Which one?
Extreme Plus.
Which I have dubbed the best semi-automatic shotgun on the market.
The Extreme Plus.
No, not the Plus, the regular one,
The
the old
A400,
one.
the
The
Extreme?
A400 Extreme, I think, is the best semi-auto out there.
Okay. Why?
The recoil impulse,
Yep.
the way it shoots, the way it points,
Yes.
I don't think there's anybody that competes.
Okay.
I think it's better than Benelli. I don't compare it to the Fostech because the Fostech is absurdly expensive and very difficult to actually get. Because I think the Origin 12 is a great shotgun, but I think
it's
this is a
entirely
better
different
shotgun.
purposes
Right.
too.
I think this is in terms of like traditional shotguns, I think this is fantastic.
So
what's the plus?
For those of you that don't know, John is a huge shotgun whore.
Not as much anymore, unfortunately.
Well, still is. I'm a huge shotgun guy myself. I do enjoy sporting clays. It's probably actually one of my favorite shooting activities. And when we go, we usually use an A400. Your A400 because I'm still too cheap to buy one.
So I have an A400 Excel, which
Yeah,
is the blue
yep.
one. That thing has about 12,000 rounds through it.
Yeah.
It's got a lot of
It's got a lot
rounds,
of rounds, and it still shoots great.
awesome. And then I've got an A400 Extreme.
Yes.
In there, I have some mossy oak or some camo. I don't know. And then I've also got a 1301
Yeah, nobody cares about the 1301. Anyway, so the
it's basically all the same shotgun.
all the same shotgun,
different
three
of the same guns,
different name, slightly different color. So the A400 Extreme Plus, they're billing as the next step in the evolution of the world's softest shooting waterfowl gun.
Yeah, and I agree to that. That is a very soft shooter.
Yeah, so they, I don't even know what the hell the difference is here. Okay, so it's got a all Steelium plus barrel, so it's the first semi-automatic hunting gun to have it.
Let me break down Beretta's marketing crap. So Steelium is their name for the material that they make the barrels out of. It's a very good material, but calling it Steelium plus is lazy. Continue.
It's got a 7x7 stepped rib to give you a wider sight picture, which means apparently more birds on the ground.
I don't know how that means more. But okay.
I don't know. They moved the stock. They added a soft comb to increase comfort in cold weather climates. Also helps reduce felt recoil. Adjustable length of pull on it. Extended bolt release, charging handle. They made the loading port larger, increased the length of the lifter, so you got a full-length lifter in there now.
Some actual tweaks to the internals. That's great.
Bright green follower inside so that you can see when you need to put more ammo in it.
So they had bright green. So when you one of the things I really liked about that thing is how easy it was to take apart. So like if you take it in the case out to the duck blind or something, you can literally, it's like the end cap for the fore end. It's a push down and twist about like 60 degrees. It's really.
So it's easier than the Excel.
Oh, by a long, the Excel is like a screw. You know that.
Yeah.
So the Extreme is like, boop, you just click it on. So they have a bright green under that so you can see it. I assume they went with the same like neon green color.
Yeah, probably.
So here's something that I'm gonna educate you if you don't know this, and maybe you do. Soft materials actually feel warmer to the skin than hard.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So that's why they went with that soft comb,
right?
Because when you cheek weld that thing,
it won't feel like you're freezing your face off.
Like if you go waterfowl hunting, it's cold. It's cold.
Yeah,
most of the time, at least in the Northeast. And holy crap, that never bothered me because just deal with it.
You're not holding the gun up there for hours.
Also, one of the keys of that gun, and I'm gonna ride this train because I love it. So the interesting thing, and can you put it on screen for me?
The gun,
that gun, that shotgun. I want to explain. So this is one of the smartest places for a recoil absorbing. I need the stock area.
This? Okay.
It doesn't matter.
All right. Bear with me.
So while Adam's figuring that out, so the basics is that a lot of guns have these like recoil absorbing things on them, and they're in the rear. So all the way against the back of the stock, and there's like a spring or there's a pad or there's something. Benelli says they have it in the stock. I think that's a lie. I don't think that thing reduces felt recoil in any way, but as its opinion. So I shouldn't say that it's a lie. I should say that it is not favorable for me. So the Beretta A400 Extreme, they moved it forward to like just under the grip. So basically there's the grip, then the recoil system, and then the big portion of the stock where you put your face. And when you have a whole gun, and we can do this side by side with the A400 Excel, which has it in the rear, and the A400 Extreme, which has it forward of that, you get a better cheek weld and a more consistent cheek weld because that rear portion doesn't move. The forward portion of the gun moves.
Oh, I understand.
Yes, he's got it up on screen.
It's right here.
So there's a gasket. They can't see that. So there's a gasket right behind the grip that's black. It's kind of like a chevron shape. That is actually a gasket, and that moves. That collapses.
Versus it being at the rear end of the stock, so that that
was one of the things I was like, this is incredible. This is so good. It's a really, really good design of a shotgun. But okay,
Beretta makes a good shotgun. No question, man.
You know, it's funny because I am not like a big fan of just about anything else they do. I'm not like wow.
Sure.
But when it comes to shotguns,
they know what they're doing when
that
it comes
checks
to
my
shotguns.
box.
Yeah, I'm with you there. Last up, we got the Bowers Group Biddy. I know this caught your attention and a lot of other people too.
Have you seen it?
Yeah, I saw it. I actually was in line with Tom waiting for food. So when you guys were up on stage for the panel, I was in that food line.
Oh, okay.
And right as I knew this was going to happen, it was like two people behind where I was ordering, and you guys started to get up there, and they were like, you can go ahead. No, it's cool. I'll wait my turn. And I got up there to order, and you guys started. Oh, crap. But I had been talking to Tom in line, and he pulled it out. He had it in his pocket. So
he pulled it out? That's not good phrasing.
Yes. I'll stay with it. I'm committed.
All right.
So tell us about the biddy, since I know you spent a lot of time talking about it.
So I'll be basic about it because I don't know the technical details as much.
Okay.
Essentially, it's a very, very. Can you pull up some other pictures? There you go.
I'm doing it.
It's a very small 22 suppressor.
How big would you say it is?
It fits inside a standard box of 22 ammo.
Okay.
That's how it was
Now we
presented
have a visual.
He presented it to me in a little itty bitty box.
Itty bitty box.
In a little box.
Itty bitty box.
He goes, here you go. And I went, what the hell is that? And
Thanks.
I open it, and there's a can in it. There's a little suppressor in there.
So you made the mistake of opening it. You should have just said thanks.
Yeah. Thanks for the ammo.
Thanks.
So there's a little. No. It's small enough to fit in there. It's rated. It's rated full auto rated.
It's full
rated
auto rated
up to 5.7.
Yes.
No wipes. It's not a wet can.
No equal apparently. 2.6 ounces.
2.6 ounces.
User serviceable.
Introductory price, Adam. What is it?
$300
for this itty bitty little can. Now, to my knowledge, the only thing that's close to this, as far as size, is that Gemtech thing that you have.
There's a couple others that aren't from Jeb Burnett. Armtac has a
the Armtac,
covert.
I forgot about that.
The covert that would be also similar in size, and I think there might be one other can I'm not recalling off the top of my head, but yeah, that's pretty much it.
So a lot of the first thing is like, is it hearing safe? My understanding is that on a 16-inch barrel, they were getting 117 decibels with standard ammo, standard velocity, I believe.
I don't recall.
That's what I was told, but it's incredible to see something that small for so cheap. I don't know how many baffles. It doesn't really matter to me as long as it's
descriptions reading. It's on a pistol. It's small, fun, comfortable, under the threshold for hearing safe. It's also hearing safe on 22 mag rifle.
Okay, so
there you have
cool. The biddy, very tiny little suppressor, very affordable. We are absolutely going to get at least one of those to play with.
Neat.
Yeah.
Neat.
I mean, those are incredible. Genevieve actually did we ran into Tom on the floor, and I was like, we got to do a video. So she did this video, and it kind of blew up a little bit for her. She was like, oh, this is really cool. She was very excited to be able to play with something really unique.
Yeah, it was certainly neat. It looks like we got one super chat here, and then we are going to wrap it.
Are we really? Wow, we went an hour.
Yeah, Alaskan Ballistics, 458 SOCOM or 50 Beowulf, and a 10.5 AR pistol. Build for bear protection. Best economic options besides radical firearms. I can tell you this, I sure as hell wouldn't buy a radical firearm in 458 SOCOM or 50 Beowulf and expect to keep my face.
Why? Are they junk?
Yeah, that's what assuming I'm thinking of the correct radical company.
Yeah, it's that company.
Yeah,
they're super,
a lot
super
of problems.
cheap. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I
mean, you are more tuned into ARFCOM and that sort of thing.
Yeah, I recall a lot of people having issues with them. Honestly, dude, Glock 20. Go buy a 10mm handgun or get a revolver.
You can get
in
a 10mm carbine from High Point now. It's super affordable. Yeah, but he's asking specifically about 458 and 50 Beowulf.
I would imagine either caliber would be fine.
I would take a Beowulf. 458 SOCOM ammo is far, far more attainable, and there's way more options. But I like the Beowulf because half-inch holes. And economic options, I mean, as far as I'm aware, there are not a ton of economical options. I'm not like super tuned in on what's on the market right now, but I would assume you could probably get an upper for under $1,000 in either of those calibers.
I think you'd have a hard time. I don't know. I mean, I don't dabble in those calibers, so I don't even know who's making barrels for them and what the price point of just the barrel would be.
It's been a long time since I built mine, so I don't know, or assembled.
Actually, I built assembled. This. I built this.
So yeah, I wish I could give you a better answer, but 50 Beowulf. You could also look at getting a little crazy and getting a hold of the guys at Bighorn Armory to get a 500 Automax pistol. They haven't done that yet, but I'm sure it'll be
there's a lot of questions that go into it. I mean, I see him in the chat here. He has a Glock 40 10 mil, so the long slide. There's a lot of questions. I mean, like, are you hiking? Are you what exactly are you doing where you're planning on taking this, and how are you planning on it? There's a lot that goes into it. But for your question, I don't know. Matter? Yeah, I mean,
Your
10
purpose.
10 millimeter. Yeah. New because I know
I don't know what that is.
Really.
I did see a tactical.
Yeah, I'm wondering
kinda
if
model.
that's. I'm wondering if that's what it is too.
Until they.
Here we go.
Until they get rid of that tube mag and go, or excuse me, the tube fed mag, I'm not going to be super hot on it.
Yes, it appears to be.
Yeah, it needs a loading gate in the side, and in order to be a tactical lever gun, because it needs to be threaded, and you need to put a can on it, and that's not.
And it looks like you could thread it though.
I think it's already threaded.
Oh, okay. Well, they got something right at least.
I don't know. Maybe they came up with something that I'm unaware of. It's a shotgun. That's cool.
The shotgun doesn't do anything for me.
You don't
Interesting.
like lever? I think lever actions are cool in general.
Yeah, no, I can appreciate a cool
I think
lever
I have 5
action.
of them upstairs.
Yeah. Interesting concept, but I don't.
The Henry rifles shoot really nice. I'll say that.
Yeah.
All right. What else? What other questions do we have here?
Is HK doing anything innovative based on the NRA show?
No.
Other than their social media, no.
Nope. They're working on that though.
They did just import a whole bunch of USCs again.
Did they really?
1,500 of them. That's it.
What are they gonna go for?
I think they were about $1,500.
That's not bad.
No, it's not.
What did you pay for yours? Like
Less.
800, 900, something like that.
A little over $1,000. Less.
So I remember you bought that as a law school graduation thing.
Yes, it was sponge painted, so I was able to knock the guy down on price, and I was going to refinish it anyway.
There's a video on the Chaos channel.
Is there?
Yeah, with that. That was one of the videos we did.
Yeah.
It didn't really get as in depth as we wanted to, but whatever. It's on there.
Let's see here. We've got Eric wants to know link to the qualifications to be able to vote for board members. Annual
has
member
covered that repeatedly.
Yeah, annual member the past 5 consecutive years, or a life member or better. Call membership
That's during
services.
the mail-in, and then there's
Yes.
different
Well,
qualifications.
that's also to sign petitions for people to get on the ballot.
Okay.
And then at the annual meeting, if you decide to vote for somebody who's running for the 76th seat, you have to be a member 50 days prior to the meeting, and that's it. You can just be an annual member for like a year, as long as it was 50 days prior to that meeting.
Okay.
Remington Versamax thoughts.
I had heard some issues with them. I don't know. That was a long time ago, so I don't know if I would assume they've been corrected, but who knows knowing Remington.
It's just gotten worse. I don't know.
I think it's an interesting gun, but I think the Beretta's a better shotgun. I know that's why that
especially
came up.
price-wise. I don't think there's a whole...
The Versamax was popular among competition guys, I think.
Huh.
I think. Because they shoot super light loads, and it was apparently like that. It was one
for
of
a semi-auto gun to run super light loads.
Yeah.
That's pretty impressive, actually.
Sure.
Cool. Well, that looks like all the time we got for this week. Thank you so much for joining us. You can find the podcast if you're listening to it. Actually, you've already found it, but it's on iTunes under the Gun Collective podcast, Google Music, Stitcher, wherever else you can download stuff.
Yep.
Check us out on Facebook at facebook.com/The Gun Collective, on Instagram at The Gun Collective. TheGunCollective.com. You can check out my website, AdamKraut.com. Follow me on Instagram at TheAdamKraut. Same
You
on
should
Facebook.
also check out our sponsors.
Oh, yeah, duh. BlueAlphaGear.com. That's BlueAlphaGear.com. And Patreon.com/TheGunCollective. You can sign up via Patreon. We appreciate that. We appreciate all of you. And I think that's it for this week.
I'm going to sneak this in there.
Go ahead.
Giving away an M&P this month.
Okay.
2.0. Super duper cool Cerakote job. That's Patreon. So check that out.
Cool. Oh, that's all we got this week. We'll catch you next week. And
Bye.
that's it. Yeah, bye.